Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. The problem that the white Jew and LGBT governing class has is very simple. It can be summed up in the idea of a Jewish person who's similar to the pagan in some ways, saying to another Jewish person, it's because you don't think. You know, he says, okay, why did you do that? That was stupid. What's wrong with you? He hits him in the head and says, it's because you don't think. And that's very much a very common problem when you look at the various communities they have. As they demand to be seen as chosen, there's some kind of supremacists. They break into groups. Some are Orthodox, right? And they look like they're a chicken, you know, like a chicken with its head cut off running around, acting very goofy. Remember, I'm part Jewish. I'm not racist. These are the facts here. My patriarchal line is black and my gene expression is more black, but I'm still part Jewish. And I can tell you with certainty that these things need to be said. And it's best for everyone, including the Jewish people. You have the LGBT Jewish community. My goodness. Okay, they struggle with a lot of problems, we'll say. And everyone knows what they are. I don't want to break the rules on YouTube. We'll just say a lot of problems. Then you have the occultists, right? And it overlaps, right? A lot of Orthodox, basically all Orthodox Jews are like occultists. Basically all LGBT Jews are like occultists. And then there's other people who identify as maybe neo-pagan, atheists, okay? And they're really in some kind of occult societies. And they struggle big time. They all struggle with critical thinking, just like the English governing class, the English royals, right? Look at King Charles, okay? When you're a brain surgeon's son, it's obvious, but everyone should know it. The brain expresses itself oftentimes through the face. So when people get their brain hacked, their facial expressions and their micro-expressions change. Okay, the look in their eye changes. And King Charles looks like he's severely retarded or something. Pretty straightforward. Okay, the governing class struggles with critical thinking. They struggle with critical thinking. And they struggle with narcissism. And they struggle with sadism. They think that the answer is to take it out on the masses of people and to social engineer and to dumb them down so they can feel like they're more normal or smarter than everyone else. It is dumber than hell. It's like you see a retard running into a wall and they have some kind of Freemasonic outfit on. Okay? Is the answer to say, well, he's in a secret society, I'm sure he has his reasons? No. He's a retard running into a wall again and again. We'll have the element of again and again, keep it very simple. They struggle with not having good critical thinking skills. They are some kind of fucking idiots that fuck up the world with poor governance. And I tell you with certainty, they struggle with critical thinking skills. And it's a critical problem. The reason why I'm targeted, they fume me and poison me all the time, they do immature clown-ass stuff that makes college frats seem mature, okay, is because they struggle with critical thinking. So imagine, you see the most serious people in the military, for example, and they're being given some clown-ass orders by some frat guy with a propeller hat, okay, and it's driving them crazy. They start going, that's why PTSD is so high, because you have these weird, silly, goofy people driving everyone crazy. And it shows in everything. It shows in academia. It shows in the mental health sector. It shows in, gasoline, right? The gas prices. It shows in like every sector in society. Pharmaceuticals. Health and fitness. There's these lunatics who struggle with critical thinking issues. Now I'm saying that again and again because I want you to remember that that is the problem here. Generations of narcissism have ruined the planet. Generations of psychotic governance. And then when people have problems, right, you have these various groups that are called like protected groups. You may blacks, immigrants, okay, women. They have real problems, very real problems. But the people who represent them tend to be bitch-ass motherfuckers who explain things in a way that's counterproductive. And so women keep getting beat, they keep getting raped, children keep getting beat, keep getting raped. Okay, black people keep getting oppressed, people of color, poor whites. It never stops. Because you have these idiots in the governing class, these complete fools. So we don't organize effectively. We don't rally to me. What happens? People are following dumbasses, or they're on their own just ignoring everything, acting like Eeyore sad. Why everything's going to hell. And that's the recipe for disaster. We have Lex Luthor, Dick Dastardly, the Riddler, the Joker, Mr. Freeze, Two-Face, Jigsaw. They're having a field day. Instead of people rallying and standing with me, there's a bunch of sickos helping them, and then there's a bunch of Eeyores. Eeyore's sad. And then somewhere, somehow, there's some Bart Simpsons or something riding their skateboard, quote-unquote, minding their own business. That is how we got into this mess, And that's not how society could get out of this mess. You have to find the courage to stand firm for what is precisely right. Like I've said many times, the words precision and decision are connected. Stop being afraid of being targeted if you do the right thing, and fear God, and fear having wasted your life being the slaves of some kind of child molesters and their allies. People who suffer from what? They suffer because they're not good when it comes to critical thinking. They suffer from a lack of critical thinking skills. That's why they came up with this stupid gang stalking program, a bunch of cheesy old idiots, a bunch of assorted frat dogs, and they involve the military, the police, and the gangs, and and it's this just stupid program. And they get everyone to play stupid about it.